Hey everyone, welcome to Boost Tutor. I'm Brandon, and as we know, pre-release for Dominaria almost here, but we're continuing our set review for limited, mainly for the pre-release. And this time we're going to go on white, one of my favorite colors to play in sealed because it has flyers, it has removals, it has bodies. It's very versatile. You know, it's a color I think is just really good because it can be really slow, or it can be mid-range, or it can be aggro sometimes. So just goes all around. Anyway, do our top 10 commons and commons and move on to just, talking about rares and stuff. At number 10, Triumph of Gerrard. All right, we got a saga here, and I like this one because A, it is cheap, B, it puts counters on creatures, and C, it can gain you some life in the end. So the counters, you don't really get to pick where they go. They just go on your highest, power, which, isn't that great. And then the last one, it kind of just gives all these abilities to this one creature, only for a turn. So it's kind of hard to play around. You just kind of like, okay, let's turn this on and hope it gets there. But I think it's cheap enough that you'll still run it in almost any white deck. And yeah, I like it. Number 9, Pegasus Coarser. So this one, 3 mana for a 1/3 flyer. Not the best, but the fact that when it attacks, you can have any creature flying. Oh, I love that. I love whenever you have like a big dumb guy on the ground. He's just like getting chump blocked. You can use this, fly over everything, and just get in there. You're making a pseudo flyer every time you attack. Love it. I mean, flying just wins games in sealed all the time. So yeah. Number 8. Speaking of flying, here's an aura that gives flying, vigilance, lifelink, +1/+1, and whatever it's attached to becomes a legendary. Holy crap. For 4 mana, that's a lot of stuff. And I love this aura. Maybe I'm, evaluating a little high here because it's an aura still and you can get 2 for 1. But I think it just does so much and can just you put this on a big creature, it can turn the game around for you. Love this thing. And there is like a Boros aura theme going on here. So, they want you to play some auras. They give you a great one. Love it. Number 7, Call the Calvary. Okay, so I like this card because for 4 mana, you get 4 power and toughness divided by 2 creatures, 2/2 knights with vigilance, which I love because vigilance, attack, block, awesome. Knights, totally a thing in this set. And then also, this is just a spell slot that, is a creature. So, you can have all your creatures, and you're like, oh, I got this spell, I'll just put it down here, and then it's still creatures, basically. Love this card. Really good. Probably up there in the best commons for white. So, okay. Number 6, Knight of Grace. Okay. No matter what, this card is awesome. 2 mana for 2/2 with first strike. That's just always good for you. That comes down early. It blocks so many things and kills them. The fact that it has hexproof from black. Okay, sweet. There's like a ton of removal black, so that negates that. And then it becomes a 3/2 with first strike as long as any player has a black permanent. That includes yourself. So if you're a black-white deck, wow, this is great. Now this card in draft is like way up there. In sealed, it's a little bit lower just because late game it comes down. Might get outclassed a little bit, but if you can make it a 3/2 even late game with first strike, that's still amazing. Love this card. Would never cut it from white deck though. So that's, that shows you how powerful it is. All right, our number 5 is Blessed Light. So our first white removal, it's 5 mana, but you do get to exile a creature or enchantment. So you got some modes there. It's exiling, so that's awesome. I don't know how much that matters, but hey, whatever. Exiling can still have its upsides. Can't recur things from the graveyard. Can't do any other shenanigans like that, basically. But yeah, it's a necessary evil. It's expensive. Sealed. It's going to go long. You're definitely going to play this no matter what. Probably don't like 3 of them, but 1 or 2, perfect. Number 4, Danatha Capuchin Paragon. Holy crap. This should be a rare. This card is amazing. It's 3 mana for 2/2, first strike, vigilance, lifelink. Right there, love this card already. And then has the upside of making any auras or equips 1 less. Holy crap. Like I said, there's a little sub-theme for auras. The equipment in this set, there's some good ones. Wow, this card's amazing. The only reason I have this, not a little bit higher, which it could easily be 3, is just because, it's a 2/2 still. Late game, that's not that great, but this has so many abilities. Oh man, if you put an aura on this thing, so good. Yeah. Once again, would not cut from any white deck. Number 3, Gideons Reproach. In Battle for Zendikar, I love this card. It's cheap. Its removal, yeah, it does only 4 damage, so it's only going to take out a 5/5, but it's going to get the job done most of the time. Yeah, and aggro it doesn't help because they still have to block, and you kill it, and then, damage doesn't go through, but it's a sealed. How often are you going to be super aggro that that's going to matter? You're still killing a creature, and that's mainly what matters. I mean, the fact that I remember so many times playing battle, attacking, and then tapping 1 and a white, I'm like, Gideons reproach. They're like, Gideons reproach. Like, it's just, it's so cheap. It's so good. Love this card. And number 2, our premium removal for white, Seal Away. Oh man, this thing is so good. It's so cheap, 2 mana for an enchantment that exiles target tap creature. Now, usually you think, well, to do that, it'd be my turn. They would have had attacked, like they hit me for some damage. No, because this has flash. So they attack, boom, right away. If you have an Icy Manipulator or something, you tap down their creature, you can seal away it. I mean, yeah, they can destroy it and stuff, but come on, for this cheap, let them waste their removal on that. Oh, it's such a good card. Love it. I mean, yeah, there's a few things with Vigilance because Knights and our number 1 card, but I don't think you really need to worry too much. You wouldn't be too worried about, oh, should I run this or not? Yeah, always run this. And our number 1 card, good old faithful Serra Angel. This card is pretty much always amazing and limited. Still true to this day. 5 mana for a 4/4 flyer with Vigilance. You can't beat it most of the time. Like, that thing comes down, you're just like, crap, I gotta deal with this now? I mean, it attacks for 4 in the air, and it still gets to hang out and block. Oh, man. Every time I face this card in Limited, I just, I'm just like, well, let's see if I can pull this out of my... Yep. And so, yeah, that's why it's number 1. I love this card. I would even play, like, multiples, like 2 of them. Like, yeah, it's 5 mana, but still, play 2 of these. You're going to win the game. Flyers, like I said, they win sealed. All right, so now let's move on to some of the rares and mythics, starting with the ones I love. First up, is Bane Slayer back? No, her older sister is, and she's awesome. So 5 mana for a 5/5 with flying, first strike, lifelink. Right there. Amazing card. But has the ability of all other angels you control get +1/+1 and lifelink. What? What? Okay. I mean, there's a few angels in the set, sure. That's going to be just sweet if you get a Serra Angel. But her alone is just amazing. This card, wow. If I got this in my sealed pool, I think I'd be like, I have to run white, right? Like, I can't splash for it. It's double white, but I might just try to if, all my other white sucked. Card is just so good. Love it. Next up, History of Bonala. So it's cheap. It's 1 white. Maybe hard to splash, but whatever. It's an amazing card. It's a saga. Its first 2 lore, it gets a 2/2 Knight with Vigilance. So right there, you're making creatures. Then its last one, all Knight creatures get +2/+1. So they're freaking 4/3s. And like I said, Knights, they're a theme in this. If you're running white, you're going to have more. If you have the Calvary card, you got 2 right there. That's +2/+1 to 4 creatures. Oh, it's such a good card. I love this thing. Even if I had no other Knights, I would still run this just because it makes its own and then pump them. Crazy card. And lastly, another angel, Shalai, Voice of Plenty. So this is 3 and a white for a 3/4 flyer. I'd totally run that. Right there, I'm done. Sure, I'll run this card. But has a nice little ability of you, planeswalkers, and other creatures you control have hexproof. Awesome. Safety from removal right there. She doesn't get it, so they have to take her out first. But they're wasting a spell to take her out, though, worth it for them. And then has the ability of 4 green, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. Holy crap. This card is crazy. It does so many things. If I was like a mono white deck, I would still run this card. I would just splash for a double green, probably. I mean, that ability is worth splashing, even if it is double green. Love this card so much. I mean, wow. White is crazy. So many flyers. It's going to be hard to beat in sealed. I'm sorry. All right, let's move on to the cards I like. A little hesitant about. We'll see. First up, Legendary Sorcerer. We got to talk about him. Urza's Ruinous Blast. So for 5 mana, you destroy all non-land permanents that aren't legendary. Once again, always hesitant about these. Will you have a legendary card out? Is it worth it? I mean, everyone's going to have legendaries. Are yours going to be better than theirs? I mean, say like yours, you have 2. They're okay. But they have 1 and it's awesome. but they also have like a ton of other creatures, then yeah, you probably blow it up and take your chances. I mean, it all depends on like how the board looks. This isn't like a straight just board wipe, because it's like whenever the one with dinosaurs, like when it comes to play, you destroy all non-dinosaurs. If your opponent's playing dinosaurs, you don't play that card because it doesn't matter. So this one, I don't know. I'm not that excited about. Just as, you know, if I had a ton of legendaries, sure, I'll throw it in because I'll probably have more than them. But you got to take your chances on a sealed pool. So, not too excited by this one. Next, we've got the triple white card, Bonala Marshal. So, white for a 3/3. Okay, sure. But all other creatures you control get +1/+1. So I love that Anthem effect. How often you get that early on, so it really matters? Probably not very often, but if you can get it down, it's still always going to be good. I don't think you ever cut this from a white deck, but it got to be heavy white, as always with these. You can't really splash for it, of course, and it's going to be hard to be two colors and do this, especially in white, just because there's no like way to get cards or get planes from your deck with white. So I don't know, always hesitant about these two, but more than likely you're going to run them just because they're so good, usually. Next up, Daring Archaeologist. 3 and a white for a 3/3. It's a hill giant. But when it comes to play, you get an artifact back from your graveyard. Don't know how often that's going to happen. I mean, that kind of depends on your deck, what you open. Will you have any artifacts? Let's say you don't. It still gets +1/+1 for every historic card you cast. So, I mean, he pumps him up, but he has no evasion. He'll just become a big creature and get chump blocked. So he's okay. I don't think he's like, oh, I opened this, I have to go white. But if you're already white, you need like a little spot filler, you have like a way to just keep pumping him up or something. Yeah, sure, run him, but I'm not that excited by him. Next, we have Tushar, Ancestor's Apostle. Now, 3 and a white for a 2/2 flyer. Not the best stats, but still a flyer. Always love those. But the fact that you can just, play a historic card, get a small creature back from your graveyard to the battlefield, that's amazing. You just have to make sure your deck can really utilize this guy because it's sealed. You don't get to pick. If this was draft, holy crap, this guy is amazing. First pick, just everything convert mana cost 3 or less on creatures, sure. But in sealed, you don't really get that luxury, so you gotta make sure you can run them. Even if you get back like just a few creatures, still can be worth it. Just don't like base your whole deck around him. Like, oh, I'm definitely gonna get this back, because sometimes you won't even see. You know how it goes. So a little hesitant on this one, but still great creature if you can get it to just get a ton of creatures. And the last one, I'm just don't know about. Evra Halcyon Witness. All right, so 6 mana for 4/4 lifelink. That's not the best. You might still run it, just like, you need like a 6-drop or something. And this one, it can give you some life. So if you're behind, it can block pretty good and kind of keep you in the game a little bit. But that's kind of the only reason I'd run it, because its ability is just really weird and can just be a big gamble. Let's say like you're attacking, your life's at 15. And you're like, okay, I'm going to attack. I'll switch it, make his power 15, make my life 4. Yeah, if you hit your opponent, that's awesome. You're going to gain 15. They're going to lose 15, which is crazy. But they could just kill it. And now your life's just at 4. And okay, what were you even doing? Like, I don't know. I'm just not big on this card. I don't like that ability. I think it's just a 6 mana 4/4 lifelink, which is fine. You can still run that, but not excited by it. All right, let's move on to the one card I say you should not run, and that is the Fall of Thran. All right, so 6 mana for a saga. That one comes into play, destroy all lands. Why? Why is that a thing? Like, okay, say it's turn 6. I guess it wants you to have a board state already, but it's not even turn 6. It's gonna be like turn 7 or 8. It wants you to have a board state and them not to have a great board state, and then you destroy all lands so they can't stabilize. I guess that's it. I mean, most land destruction wants to be early in the game because they want you to have like an aggro deck, get a ton of creatures out, destroy all lands so they can't get any creatures or have removal, and you can just like play one more land and keep getting creatures out because they're only 1-drops or something. This is 6 mana, which is way too much. And then it's other 2 lures or you get 2 lands back. Like, what? You're like, oh, I'm going to play this, destroy all lands, haha, just kidding. Get some back. Like, what's the point of this? I don't understand. I guess flavorful, sure, but I don't know. I don't know what's going on with this thing. So yeah, do not run it. It makes no sense to me. All right, there we go. White, always strong and sealed. Love it. Always, I pretty much always try and play it. I mean, it's usually green, white, or red, white with me. So green, black, or not green, black, white, black. That looks pretty strong. So we'll see. If you want to follow me on Twitter, booster_tutor, and see you next draft.